Are you ready? Let's go.
To the today's video. Okay, on today's video we're going to look at how to sketch reciprocal function. What is a reciprocal function? Reciprocal function is a function of this form. Okay, so as I always highlight to you, okay, it is very important for us to know how the basic shape looks like. Okay, well, here, okay, we can divide it into quadrant. Okay, so this one I'm going to say quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And if you actually see, these alphabets here actually going to tell us a story. If you see, okay, this letter A is going to tell us which quadrant it's going to belong. For example, if your A is positive, you're going to be in quadrant 1, quadrant 3. If your A is negative, you're going to be in quadrant 2, quadrant 4. If you see at the bottom, I've written here, you have to make sure your X is positive. Well, this is for convenience purpose. Okay, so if you say your X is negative, you just make sure you times top and bottom by -1. Not a problem at all. This C will tell us something as well. So this C will tell us, okay, what is our, this is going to be our horizontal asymptote. And I think I missed out, okay, explaining to you what this B should tell us. This B will tell us our vertical asymptote. And also, as I highlight again and again, it is very important for us to know the basic shape. So here, if you're in quadrant 1, this is how your shape looks like. Quadrant 3. If you are in quadrant 2 and 4, it will be like that. All right. And please remember, reciprocal function, there is no reflecting, there is no shifting. Without wasting time, let us look at our first example here. So our first example here, okay, we got 2 over 3 minus x. Okay, the first thing to notice is, okay, as I have told you, okay, make sure your x is positive. Here you can see my x is negative. That's not a problem. I just have to multiply top and bottom by -1. So when I go and multiply top and bottom by -1, this is going to become -2. This guy is going to become x minus 3. Okay, so I'm all set to do my sketching. So just go and draw my axis. So as I pointed out to you, okay, the denominator will tell me what is my vertical asymptote. So we just set this equal to 0, x minus 3 equal to 0. So that will give us x equal to 3. So this guy is going to be my vertical asymptote. And I pointed out to you, this plus c is going to tell me what is my horizontal asymptote. So if you see, there is no number here, i.e. it is just plus 0. So this plus 0 is just y equal to 0, which is going to be my horizontal asymptote. So I got my vertical asymptote, I got my horizontal asymptote. Next, I just have to say what is my quadrant that I belong to. If you see here, this is -2. So -2 tells me that I'll be in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Let us go and fix our vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote. That will be easy for us to draw. So my vertical asymptote will be here. X equal to 3. Okay. Then my horizontal asymptote is y equal to 0. So this is my y equal to 0. So now we can see this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, so it's just about deciding where I'm going to put my graph. Since it is negative, we are going to be here and we are going to be here. So I just try to fit the shape like that. And here will be like that. So please remember, okay, this guy is asymptote. So you are trying to get as close as possible, but then you will never touch or cross. Likewise here, okay, here the same as well. So as you can see here, okay, we got our y-intercept. It is always good that you go and find your y-intercept. So y-intercept when x equal to 0, so put 0 there. So it's going to be 2 over 3. Okay, and for completeness purpose, it is always good that you go and find what is your domain and range. So your domain and range here, okay, we can state that, but then you have to remember, okay, to see the domain separately, okay, because here I got one function, here I got one function. So the domain of the first curve going to be from negative infinity to 3, and this guy is going to be from 3 to infinity. I'm going to just put union there to unite the set of x. And likewise with the range, this second graph here, okay, we always start with the lowest. Okay, so from negative infinity up until 0, of course you don't include union, and this guy from 0 up to positive, up to positive infinity, right? Hey guys, if you watched the previous video, you should know the tips and tricks in order to sketch the reciprocal. So we are at the second example. So if you see here, okay, this is the reciprocal function that we need to draw. So the first thing that you have to make sure is your x is positive. So here, that is sorted, so no problem. Now we can go and tell 3 important information. What is it? First, what is the vertical asymptote? So the vertical asymptote, we look at our denominator here. So I set that equal to 0. So x plus 1 equal to 0. That is going to be x equal to negative 1. So I can go and draw my vertical asymptote. So my negative 1 will be here. So this is my x equal to negative 1. Next, this plus 1. This plus 1 is going to tell me my horizontal asymptote. Okay, so this is my vertical asymptote. My horizontal asymptote is going to be y equal to positive 1. So y equal to positive 1 will be here. Okay. Next, the number 2 here. The number 2 is going to tell me which quadrant I belong to. Well, it is a positive value, so it should belong to quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. So I can happily go and draw my graph there and there. Okay, and as you see again, we got y-intercept. It is advisable to go and work out the value. Y-intercept when x equal to 0, put 0 there. This is going to be 2, 2 plus 1, that's going to be 3. Okay, and make sure you label everything nicely. Okay, there you go. That's our graph. And for completeness purpose, always make sure you state what is your domain and range. So your domain, okay, if you want, okay, you can see this is 1, this is another 1. So you can see the graph, okay, for the first function exists from negative infinity up until negative 1, not included, and from negative 1 to positive infinity. So I just put a union there. Whereas for the range, okay, we are talking about negative infinity to 1. Negative infinity to 1. And for the second part of the function, it is going to be from 1 to positive infinity. Okay, hope you enjoyed that.